let's talk about the symptoms that people are experiencing in life. Typically, this is depression, anger, rage, suicidality, cognitive decline, memory impairments, forgetfulness, this type of stuff. Okay? These are very real, troubling issues for those that have it and the family members that are going through it at this time. And I definitely do not want to seem like I'm downplaying this in any way, okay? I just want you to be aware of everything around it. Guskowitz 2005 found that retired players with 3 or more concussions had a 5-fold increase in mild cognitive impairment versus players that didn't report concussions. Okay, so if you had 3 or more concussions, you had a 5 times greater prevalence of having mild cognitive impairment than those that weren't reporting any concussions. However, what's interesting about this, because the theory of CTE is not necessarily concussions, it's contact sports participation, the number of NFL players in this particular study was a large study, 2,500 people. The number of NFL players, or the percentage of NFL players that had mild cognitive impairment, was 2.9%. If you look at the diagnosis of mild cognitive impairment in people of the same age in the general population, it ranges between 5% and 30% of the general population. So what you see here is that people that played football have less of a chance of having mild cognitive impairment than people who didn't play football. That's interesting. Guskowitz 2007, same sample of people, same 2,500 individuals. He found that, and this one was on depression, he found that 11% of former NFL players had either a current or past diagnosis of depression. So the prevalence of lifetime depression in former NFL players was found to be 11%. In the general U.S. population, the lifetime prevalence of depression is 16.5%. So we see again that former NFL players are less likely to have depression than members of the general population. Suicide risk. Iverson et al. Found that suicide risk in former NFL players was lower than for men of the same age in the general United States population. So again, if you played in the NFL, you are less likely to commit suicide than if you did not play in the NFL, statistically. So all of these things, you're actually less likely for all of these things, yet it's reported on so heavily and so prevalently because the people that are usually involved are former professional athletes. When somebody in the general population commits suicide, it doesn't make media headlines. When a former player does, it does. And so you start to have this one-sided view thinking that all of these players are going through such tremendous struggles, and some of them definitely are, but these struggles are present in people that have no history of head trauma at all either. You are actually less likely to have these things if you played in the NFL than if you did not play in the NFL. So, something to keep in mind.